lesson number 35. Today I'm going to be talking about a scary word. Transposition. Or in other words, transposing. It sounds a lot scarier than it actually is. The only two things that you sort of need to know before you are going to try to attempt to transpose is knowledge of your scales, like the keys, and another thing would be knowledge of intervals. You can actually transpose if you know either. You don't even have to know both. You could just transpose if you knew either one of them. But if you know both, it'll help you understand how it's all working a little bit better. So if you don't know about intervals for your keys and the circle of fifths, stuff like that, then probably going to have a little bit of trouble with this. So I'll give you 5 seconds to go switch videos and then come back. My cat is not leaving me alone. Here she is. No, you cannot scratch the suit. Oh no, she's cuddling with me. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna boot her out of here. Spray. Okay, now back to whatever I was doing. Okay, so you need the knowledge of basically your key signatures, circle of fifths, and the intervals and whatnot. So, now, okay, so basically what transposition is think of this. Think of trans as meaning transfer and posing as position. So it's like changing position, or transferring the position. So all transposition does, it's actually a pretty powerful technique, because what you can do is you can take a melody, like we're going to use Twinkle Twinkle Little Star this today, and I'll show you how to transpose it up to G major and down to F major. So it would be like playing a song, right? Like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Now I can change it to any key I want to by transposing it. So transpose it up to G major. I can transpose it into something like F sharp major. That's if you know your scales well enough. Or, you know, D flat major. So if that's something you'd like to be able to learn, then keep watching. Alright, so I think that's about all I can say here. Now let's just come over to the piano and I'll explain myself and try to explain to you guys what it is and how to do it. Well, I already did explain what it is. Okay, so here's my sheet here. This is it's actually not all of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I just kind of wrote this down very quickly because I do not have my whiteboard. It is gone. Okay, so this is the first key. I've just gone down to F major and up to G major. Technically you can still go up, or like you could be in C major and go up to F major. But for this example I just wanted to show that you can transpose up or you can transpose down. It doesn't mean that you can only transpose up that way or whatever. You can transpose to any key you want in any direction you want. Generally, like speaking, you have all the freedom if you want to do that. Okay, so basically what it is, now if you know your intervals, transposing it up, for example here. So this is our starting note here with Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's a C. So if we want to go to G major, what we have to do is we actually have to move this note up. What's the difference between C major and G major? So from C to G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be a perfect fifth. So that means, if that's the difference between those two scales, basically what you're going to do is you're going to transpose every single note up a perfect fifth. So in this example, what you'll do is, so since our starting note was already on C, then up a perfect fifth from C is G. So now we go G, G. Now, if I want up, so now this note here right? So we've transposed that up. Now this has to go up as well. That's going to go up a perfect fifth as well. So if this is on a G, right here, a perfect fifth up is a D. So now this is a D as well. So it goes up a perfect fifth. This has to go up a perfect fifth. And then that up a perfect fifth. And so on and so forth. So this is a G, goes to a D. That's an A, that goes to an E. Now, it gets more complicated when you're doing to sharps and flats, if you just try to do perfect fifths and stuff like that. So you work in a different way. What you do, when I transpose, what I'll do is you go up from, so say you're in C major, and you're going to G major. What you're going to do is you're going to just apply those notes with the key signature. So pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to write the key signature down. So say you're going into G major, you have to write down the key signature, and that's going to take care of all the notes that need to be changed. Then what you do is you just move your starting note up, whatever the distance is from whatever key you're in to whatever key you want to transpose into. So say you are in D major, and you want to transpose to G major. So that's a difference of 1, 2, 3, 4, a perfect fourth. So that means you're going to transpose up your starting note. So say you're in D major, and right? So you're going to transpose your starting note up a perfect fourth, and then what you'll do is you'll count what the interval is between the next two notes. So if from here to here is a perfect fifth, then you'll just play a perfect fifth. And then it goes up a note, so you just go up a note. And then down a note. And then you just play whatever that piece was according to the scale. So if you're in G major and you know that it's just 1, 5, like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because this is your starting note if you're in G major. So it's your tonic, which is 1. So it goes tonic, tonic, dominant. So 1, 1, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. So then you just take that to any scale you want to. So say it's D flat major. Now you have to know D flat major to be able to do that. So that's where learning your scales becomes important. Okay, so that's D flat major. You should already know that by now. If you don't, look in, I can't remember which lesson it was, but it shows the pattern of scales. Like a major scale is tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So that's the distance between the keys. I went over that really fast because I'm not going to be teaching that in this lesson. That's just a reminder. Okay, so you'll go into D flat major. So all you do is you go to the fifth note. So you go tonic, tonic, which is the first note, and then the fifth note of D flat major, and then the sixth note. See? And then it all works out. So you can switch keys like that. Now, all you have to do when you're writing it on sheet music is you take whatever the interval was. So if you're going to F and you want to move everything, transpose everything up a fourth or a third or something. Okay, here's a better example. Say you're in C and you want to transpose everything down a fifth. So you go from here and you transpose this down a fifth, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and then that's 5, because you count lines and spaces. Okay, so now you've got a fifth here, and then it goes up a fifth, so you have to copy that. It goes up a fifth. It goes up one note, which would be a second, so that goes up a second, then down a second because it goes down a second there. Now when you get to this part, if you didn't play the flat, this is how it would sound. Now if you know Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, that's not how it sounds, is it? Right? If you play it without the flat, it kind of sounds like, you know, the star had some problems at home and he's a little bit upset. Oh no, Daddy doesn't like me. my room. Not quite like that, but so it doesn't quite sound right, does it? That's because it's supposed to go down a full, basically half tone from there, or not a half tone, a whole tone. Because from here, so from here, and then, so when you're going here, from the distance between here and here is a whole tone, right? So the distance from here and here has to be a whole tone. If you do this, it's a semitone, which screws everything up. So we hear it not by what key it is, but by the difference in interval. That's how our ear recognizes a melody. It's by the distance of the pitches. So if the pitch is off, then it doesn't sound correct. Like it doesn't sound recognizable. That's how we remember something. So the key with transposition is just taking that pattern. It's sort of like having a house and then just moving it up the block to another location, but just lifting the entire house and moving it up. But it's the same house, but it's just located on a different property or something like that. So the structure is still the same. See how they look like the same? Well, not quite. I drew them differently. Bad, Andrew. Anyway, but you see how they're going up, up, down, right? It's just they're on a different starting location. Here it's here, here, way up here. But they still, here look, I'll play. Here's the one down here. Okay, and now C major. Now I go up to G major. Sounds good, doesn't it? Every single one of them sounds like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but then you hear the difference in the key. But quickly your ear forgets what the key sounds different, and it starts to like accept it as the new melody, sort of. Like just if you're doing, whoops, that would be because I missed the scale note. Right? Now you go take E flat major. Just like that. So it's all about moving the intervals up and down. Basically, the distance between all these intervals has to be the same. So that's all you're trying to do. So my process is, if I take a melody, I just move the starting note up to whatever I want, and then I think what's the difference between that key and that key. So you have to know what key it's in. So if it's in C major, like you have to figure out what key the piece is in, and then you have to raise it up to whatever you want. So raise it up a fourth, or a fifth, or an augmented second, or whatever you want to do. And then you have to apply that key signature to it, whatever that key is. So if it was in B major, and you have all your sharps and everything, and then you're going to go to E major, you have to change your key signature, and then that will automatically give you all the semitones and all the tones that you need to, based within that scale, if that makes any sense. So that's why learning your key signature is important. Hopefully that all didn't go over your head. I'm not sure how well I'm teaching this, actually. I've never actually really thought about how I teach transposition. I just thought I wanted to touch bases on it. But yeah, okay, that's my attempt at it. Oh, there we go. Anyway, hopefully you found that helpful, my fumbling through the whole transposition thing. So the basic idea is you just want to keep the same distances between the notes as you're transposing up or down. So you can transpose any melody by counting it out. You just count the interval difference. So if you have right, that's like McDonald's, or So all you have to do is just make sure that that pattern of basically the semitone, like the intervals, is the same. Because it goes down a second, up a second, up a second, up a third, which is actually a minor third. So that's where you have to learn your majors and minor thirds, which I covered in a previous lesson. So if you haven't seen that, then go back to my other lessons and look through them. Okay, so then I just take it to the next scale. So say I want to move it all up minor 6 to A flat major. I go, right? Still sounds the same. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. My next lesson is going to give you an idea, or it's an exercise for learning all the majors and minors and dominant sevenths and diminished seventh chords very easily and fast in every key. And you can go through the thing in about 5 minutes and learn every single one of them. And you do that every day and your hand will get the posture for each one, starting at least. It's a pretty basic exercise, but it's invaluable pretty much. As you can see, I got my bottom braces off too, so that means I am fully out of the braces phase, if you want to call it. So yeah. Okay, well, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'll see you guys later. Keep practicing. Have a good one. Bye-bye.